A special type of two-dimensional motion is found when an object is in flight after being thrown or projected in such a way the path is completed where the projectile is started from ground and ultimately it again comes to the ground. So this is a projectile. When a football player kicks the football or a batsman applies a force on the ball by using his bat, these type of motions can be found. This is a projectile motion. Let us take the projectile is launched with a velocity v0. It is the initial velocity which is the tangent of the path shown, and this is the velocity v0 with an angle theta 0 with the horizontal axis, x-axis. So the initial velocity is given by the two components. This component is v0 cos theta 0 and this component is v0 sin theta 0. So the horizontal component is v0x, that is v0 cos theta 0, and the vertical component is v0 sin theta 0. These two are the initial velocity components. At any time the acceleration is gravitational acceleration, that is a equals to minus g j hat. If this is y axis, then minus j hat indicates the negative, vertically negative direction. So it is vectorically given as ax I hat plus ay j hat, that is minus g j hat. So ax equals to 0 and ay equals to minus g. The initial position is x0, y0, that is both are 0. The positions of the projectile with respect to time can be given as x equals to v0x into t, because there is no acceleration along the horizontal direction. So the horizontal displacement with respect to time, horizontal instantaneous displacements are given as x equals to vt, that is the velocity component along x direction multiplied with the time, and the vertical component of position, instantaneous component, will be the initial velocity along vertical direction into time, that is ut like term, minus half gt square, because g is the deceleration along the y direction. So these two equations are the instantaneous positions. So this will give v0 sin theta 0 minus half gt square. Again, if v equals to the instantaneous velocity, that is vx I hat plus vy j hat, that is vx is the time derivative of the x component, x position, plus d dt of y with j hat. So that is why we get v equals to the position x differentiated, that is v0x plus this is v0 sin theta 0 into t. So v0 sin theta 0 minus gt with j hat. v0x means v0 cos theta 0. So these two components are the instantaneous components, instantaneous velocity components. Now, what will be the path of the projectile? It is very clear from the figure that it is a parabolic path. Now, we prove it mathematically. Since we get the time t equals to x by v0 cos theta 0, because x equals to, when we put the value of v0 x, that is v0 cos theta 0 into t, that is x, so t equals to x by v0 cos theta 0. And if we put the value of t in the expression of y, that is here and here, then we get the xy relation, that is eliminating the time coordinate, eliminating the time t, we get y equals to tan theta 0 x minus g by 2 v0 cos theta 0 whole square into x square. This is the parabolic relation, that is y equals to x plus bx square. Like relations, these two are a and b, are constant terms. So if we take the time of maximum height, that is at the maximum height, the velocity component of y component is 0. Vy is 0, so v0 sine theta 0, and the time tm when the object reaches the maximum height, then tm equals to v0 sine theta 0 by g. And the total time during the projectile is in flight, that is here to here, is called the total time of flight. And in that case, here the y equals to 0. Here is also y equals to 0. So one is that at t equals to 0, y equals to 0, and another when it again touches the ground, then also y equals to 0. And if we put y equals to 0, then we get the total time, that is tf, that is 2 v0 sine theta 0 by g. Now the value of y, which is the value of y at this time, that is the maximum height reached, will be the expression of y when we put t equals to tm, that is v0 sine theta 0 by g, and the maximum height will be v0 square sine square theta by 2g. And now ultimately we shall find the range, that is the vertical distance covered, that is the total time of flight. At the total time of flight, the horizontal component of position, that is the value of x at the total time of flight, that is r. So it is r at x equals to at time tf, x at tf, that is v0 cos theta 0 into tf. So putting the value of tf, we get v0 square sine 2 theta 0 by g. So this will be maximum when sine 2 theta 0 gives a maximum value, that is 1. So sine 2 theta 0 equals to 90 degree, and hence theta 0 equals to 45 degree. So the maximum range will be v0 square by g when theta 0 equals to 45 degree. This is all about the projectile motion. And now we shall discuss about the uniform circular motion. We will discuss about the uniform circular motion. When an object follows a circular path at a uniform speed, then the motion of the object is called the uniform circular motion. That is the motion in a uniform with a uniform speed. So whatever may be, the speed is a scalar quantity, and at one point to another point, from point to point, the direction of velocity is changing. So as the velocity is changing, the magnitude of velocity is speed, which is constant, but the direction is changing, so the velocity is changing ultimately, because velocity is a vector quantity. So whatever may be the either the magnitude or the direction is changed, the velocity is changed, and that is why we get an acceleration. So the object undergoes an acceleration. Let us take two positions with respect to the center, that is the position R, and here it is R prime, and this is the difference, that is angular difference, that is delta theta. This is the line P prime between the positions P and P prime. The velocities are V and V prime, are the velocities at two different positions. So if the time is taken here from going from one position to another position is delta t, then delta theta by delta t is the angular velocity, which is the angular displacement by time. If the magnitude of the acceleration is given by a, mod of a vector is equal to limit delta t tends to 0 delta v by delta t, the mod of delta v by delta t. Now the velocity vectors v and v prime are always perpendicular to the position vectors, because the velocities are directed along the tangents and the position vectors are directed along the radius, and the radius and tangential directions are always perpendicular. That is why the velocity vectors are always perpendicular to the position vectors. The angle between them is also delta theta. So if we draw a triangle CP P prime in the figure here, formed by the position vector and the triangle and from the triangle we get the ratio of the base length to the side length for one of the triangles equal to that of the other triangle, that is delta V by V of this triangle, that is delta V, that is V prime, that is V, and that is delta theta. So delta V by V equals to delta R by R. Or delta V mod equals to V into mod of delta r by r. So the acceleration mod of a is equals to limit delta t tends to 0 v into delta r by r delta t, that is v by r into delta r by delta t, that means again the velocity. So we get the acceleration is v square by r. R is the radius of the circular path. This acceleration of an object moving with speed v in a circle of radius r has the magnitude v square by r and is always directed towards the center. The acceleration is always directed towards the center, and this is why it is called centripetal acceleration. This is called the centripetal acceleration. Again, from the angular displacement, that is delta theta by delta t, that is omega. And now if the distance traveled by the object during the time delta t is delta s, that is the arc, that is delta s, then the speed is delta s by delta t, that is delta s equals to, and delta s equals to r into delta theta. The arc is equals to the angle into the radius. So the v equals to r into delta theta by delta t, that is r into omega. So v equals to r into omega. So we can express the centripetal acceleration in terms of the angular speed. It was v square by r, so we get r into omega square in by r, that is omega square r2. It is the centripetal acceleration in terms of the angular velocity. We can also find it in terms of the linear frequency. In terms of linear frequency, the angular velocity is given as 2 pi f. So vr square by r, that is equals to omega square r, that is equals to 2 pi f square into r, that is 4 pi square f square into r. That will be the centripetal acceleration in terms of the linear frequency. Okay, that's all.